Hello, this is RICKY, the Android guy. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Android Weekly / Android Q&A, where I not only give you the latest news for the week, but I give you the answers to all your questions, or at least attempt to. If you do have a question, please feel free to email me right down here below at asktheandroidguy@gmail.com, and I will get to the questions after the articles. Or you can feel free to message me on the comment section. I will be taking a look at that throughout the event, and we'll answer questions at the end live if you have any questions. And if not, we have plenty of them that have been emailed me throughout the week, and I did select a few that I will answer. So a lot happened this week, guys, and it really was a lot. So let's get to the big news. The biggest news by far is that Lenovo has bought out Motorola. Who is this a surprise to? Not me. If you actually look back at like videos from last year, when Google was buying Motorola, I said they don't care about the hardware. They'll probably eventually sell it off. However, I did say I thought they would sell it off to HTC. I thought that would have been the company to get it, and I thought they would have done better. However, HTC has had probably the worst year out of any phone manufacturer. Well, that's not true. Motorola, LG, and HTC have not had good years in the mobile industry. But I don't know which one I would say is the worst. Well, BlackBerry is the worst. But then again, but it's Motorola was a loss for Google. In the last quarter that they owned, the Google owned Motorola, they were still losing them money. And Lenovo, for those of you who don't know, is the biggest company out in China. It's really done well. I mean, since they bought out the IBM sector of laptops, they made a name for themselves in the U.S. But that's really it. They definitely have not come into the U.S. So what does buying Motorola do for them? Well, it gives them kind of a leeway into the U.S. Now, will they keep the Motorola name, or will they give it away? That is the questionable part. We're not sure what is going to happen with that, even though the CEO of Lenovo said they have no immediate ideas for layoffs or anything of that matter. So that should be good. By the way, guys, if you can't hear me better, let me know. I have a new mic that I'm using, so please let me know in the comment section down below if this sounded better than last week's Q&A and weekly, if you did watch both. So that was one thing about the Motorola. Now, Google still keeps all that they wanted to keep, which is all the patents that Motorola had, they still maintain ownership of. They did not sell off that. They only sold off the hardware division, which is something that they never really cared for anyway. Now, Lenovo says that they're going to be, on the latest Nexus device, which makes sense. If Google was working closely with, obviously, Motorola was pretty much a stock experience, and now we have this. So I think this is interesting, and I'll really stay on top of it to see how it develops. Will Lenovo be able to take on Samsung and Apple? I don't believe so. I just do not believe so. Even though the CEO said, oh yes, with this we'll be able to now take on Samsung and Apple, I think you have a long way to go just to catch up to Apple, and you have just uncatchable reach with Samsung right now. They are the company to beat, and we'll go over that in a second on how they did to Apple. However, though, first let's go into something that we just were talking about, and that is Google maintains the patents for Motorola. For those of you who don't know why Google bought Motorola I believe it was last year? Yes, last year. It's because of one simple reason. They wanted to stop Apple in litigation. So Apple was going around being like, I'm suing you, I'm suing you, I'm suing you. All of you are getting sued, and you know what, Google? You're in our sites too. And Google was worried about this, of course. So Google basically did, hold on, need some product placement here. Sorry, my throat's been a little bad lately. Google decided, well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to buy the company that owns the patents on cell phones, period. So if Apple, if you try to come out for us, let's see who wins. And it was very effective. Apple no longer did any law litigation or lawsuits against Google or Android for that matter. They went for the manufacturers. So they went for Samsung, they went for HTC, which HTC now pays them per phone. That's why they're no longer suing HTC. And they haven't gone for LG as far as I can remember, but they've gone for different companies. So Google and Samsung have agreed to license each other's patents for the next 10 years. Now, why is that such a big deal? Well, it's a couple of reasons. But the main thing is, the main reason why this occurred was because Google should take interest in Samsung. Samsung has the majority of Android now. It's by far the majority of Android. All the phones that are being sold are really Samsungs. I mean, you can add up HTC, LG, Lenovo, Huawei, Motorola, all of them. You can add them all up, and they do not add to the sales of Samsung smartphones. So that's huge. It really is, and it really shows how much they've dominated now. So Google needs to protect them, and because Apple has won a couple of BS courts, well, not one because it's still going to go through appeals and all this kind of stuff, but because they have won on some of these cases, Google is now basically saying, you can now use all of our patents. So if Apple tries anything, there you go. And Apple does not want to mess with Google, again, because of that. But it also gives Google the opportunity to get patents that Samsung has been doing. So, and that can only help them out for not only hardware but software. Now, there's a rumor going on, and this is a rumor. This is not fact. There's a rumor going around that part of this agreement was also for Samsung to take off some of their bloatware. And while I do believe that a deal like this could have been made, I do not believe that the thing was that, Google saw the My Magazine UX or Magazine UX in the Note 12.2 and freaked out at CES. They were like, oh my god, this is like looking so much different from Android. We want Android to look similar. And although, Sense, TouchWiz are different, they kind of look similar. But this looks far and away different from anything on Android. And Google supposedly freaked out, and that's what happened. Now, I don't believe this is completely true. I don't believe that Samsung is going to abandon this new UX, especially for a tablet, because unless Google is going to come out with something like an Android 5.0 that really is designed for 10-inch and higher tablets or even laptops, Android on laptops, which has often been discussed, especially now with this new merger of Chrome apps going to Android apps very easily. It's really something that it should help them, Samsung, kind of gain tablet traffic. So I do not believe, because according to this rumor, then the Magazine UX on the tablets that are coming out within probably 2 months or 3 months are not going to look like we saw at CES, which I do not believe. Especially because so many reviewers, as myself, actually more reviewers besides myself, loved this new UX. I'm still kind of curious to see if I will stick to this or if I will go to regular Android. But this was really beloved, so I do not feel that's going to happen. All right, Samsung also, by the way, now has the ability to cross-license with Ericsson, which used to be with Sony. So Samsung is really just basically trying to get all the patents so that they don't have to deal with any more of this BS from Apple, and that's really it's coming down to. Okay, now last week I told you that Samsung sold 86 million smartphones, their profit, how much and everything like that, and I told you, like, look, no smartphone company will come close to them. The only one that could is Apple, and I wasn't even sure if they would. Well, the results are in, and I was right on 2 counts, but not the third. So one thing is Apple just put in their earnings, and they had a profit of $13.1 billion, which is obviously very impressive. It actually had the most profit, I believe, out of any definitely out of any smartphone company. I'm not sure of any electronic company. I'm not positive of that off the top of my head. But so this was really kind of interesting and interesting to see how it was. But Samsung still did beat them. So you know, in two other things. So Samsung did not beat them on profit. Samsung's profit was 7.8 billion compared to Apple's 13 billion. And while that might seem like a lot, you have to realize of one thing, and that is Samsung put a lot more into research and development throughout the years. Throughout the year, which is divided by 4, they put 11 billion, I believe, whereas Apple put 3 billion. So that's seven. It's about basically like 1 to 2 billion per quarter that is being spent on that, as well as they said they gave their employees some bonuses or something like that and all that kind of stuff. And this is why their profit was down for Q4. Whether that's all of that should just be taken into account, but I mean, 8 billion to that's about 5 billion difference. So you're figuring they really got about 3 billion more in profit when you factor that in. But so what about in sales? Well, in sales, Apple didn't come close, like I predicted with Samsung in terms of sales. Apple only sold 51 million smartphones, whereas Samsung sold 86 million. So you're talking about a huge extreme difference when it comes to that. Now, obviously, profit is what it comes to town at the end of the day, but Samsung has declared that they're not going to kind of invest as much in marketing and everything like that, which is really interesting. I mean, I still don't know if that's such a great idea. For all in all, in 2013, Samsung more than doubled Apple's iPhone sales. So Samsung finished at 32% of market share in all smartphones. So 1 out of every 3 phones sold was a Samsung. And they did about 320 million, whereas Apple did 154 million. So again, more than double theirs for the entire year, which is definitely noticeable. Now, where does that stand for with these two companies? Well, Samsung has spent a lot more than Apple, so their profit isn't as good as their regular devices. So it's really kind of interesting to see how that's going to happen. I don't believe that, like a lot of analysts have said that, oh, there's a lot of competition coming from LG, Lenovo, and everything like that. So far, LG is about to launch the Flex in the U.S., and there has been no buzz on it whatsoever. No one cares. So I think that was really interesting. I think Sony actually made a bigger impact than with at T-Mobile, just because they're 20 megapixel. But even that's not as like wow kind of news. So I really just don't. I really see the duopoly kind of continuing between these two, and I think it's really going to be continuing for 2014. I still think it's going to be, do you want a Galaxy or do you want an iPhone? And that's really what it's going to be. And it shows you because LG just went from black to red. So they were kind of in good profit for the for their division, and then now this past quarter they went to losing, so operating loss instead of a profit of $51 million. So they're losing money, and a lot of it's coming from their cell phones. They're just really not doing that well. And again, their G2 was lackluster at best. They wanted to sell 10 million. They only sold, I forget if it was 2 or 3. I want to say, let's say 3. That's still 7 million short of what they wanted to sell. Their Flex, although it got some interest, and I thought it would get more interest in the U.S., hasn't gotten that much interest in the U.S., and therefore it's not really going to do that well again. A lot of people, the feedback I've been getting is it's just big. Like when I go into, like I've gone to a Sprint store, AT&T store, oh hey, what do you think of the Flex and all that? And they're like, man, we could care less. So I just don't think it's going to be another good year for LG. Google Glass. Samsung is supposedly making a Google Glass competitor, which I think is pretty interesting. Here, let me see if I can show you guys. So pretty interesting in how it looks. As you can see, it has one glass across, which I like so much better. It just it's like a prescription kind of style. Still looks like it's going to have a connector and everything like that. Not sure what this is. If this is supposed to connect to the phone, that would kind of be weird. Or maybe that's just a charger and then it retracts or something. But it's an interesting design that they patented on it. Now the rumor is that it might go towards the end of the year. I think that's still kind of soon, but possibly they're saying that it could happen at the end of the year, like around the time they usually announce the Note. Um, I do think we're going to see a Gear 2 before the summer. Oh, I will actually be doing a video on that too, on what new devices will be coming out and when, for my predictions on the S5, iPhone 6, and all of those devices. All right, so let's get to the weekly news. Oh, actually, one last thing. I did want to get to one last article that I found kind of interesting, and that is the article on. I can't share it with you right now for some reason. And that is the article that came out that on Samsung's lifetimes. It seems like this is going to be like an app. It was a leaked thing on an app. It was on Engadget and a couple different sites. But really, I think it's kind of interesting because I think this is the supposed UX that we saw last week, I believe, where it showed, kind of like a Google Now kind of posting. I believe this is it. No one's made that distinction that kind of this goes with that, but it makes sense that the leak thing we saw before is Samsung's lifetime. So I believe that's going to be it. That's what my guess is from what I've seen, that it's all going to flow. Kind of like a Google Now, but it's going to be called this Samsung Lifetimes. So I do think that's going to be kind of all in one. All right. Again, if you have questions, feel free to ask in the comment section down below, and I will start answering questions as I get them. I do not see any in the comment section right now, so if you do have any questions, feel free to ask, or you can email me if you're watching live. Though, feel free to ask right now. And if before the end of the episode, I will look at my email though to see if anyone new has emailed me. So. First thing, let's get to the first question from Tony Ray. Tony Ray is wondering, help me figure out how all my music on one app. I bought music from the Play Store and also transfer music from my computer. Is there a way to transfer music I bought to the Samsung Music app? I actually don't use the Samsung Music app, so hold on one second, sorry. Sorry, my throat's still a little bad. So I don't I don't use the Samsung Music app. I actually use Google Music, and I really do recommend that as the best music app for your phone or tablets. The reason is a couple reasons. One, it's a cloud storage base, so really you're saying you're buying music from the Play Store and transfer music from your computer. You can actually take all of your music from your computer and upload it to Google Music. You download Google Music on your computer. It's music.google.com. You go to that website, and then from there you can upload all of your music that you have on your computer, iTunes, wherever you get it from, Amazon, wherever you get it from. You can upload it right to Google Music, and then from there you can have it on all your devices. I really see that as a better way than having Samsung's music app or any other company's music app. It makes the most sense. It's the best ecosystem-wise. It's just Google Music is what you should be using. If you're on Android, use Google Music. All right. Lolita Williams, I believe, ask. Have you done a review on the Ative Tab 3 10.1 64-bit Windows 8 with keyboard? I watched your review on another Galaxy Tab versus iPad Mini, but I've been looking for something for school. I was wondering if you had any suggestions. Thanks. Well, I actually do. So this is an interesting question because I often get asked, I'm going to school, what tablet should I get? And this is an interesting one. Right now, it would kind of be tough. In Android, I feel that you should either get the Asus Transformer, or you should get the Tab 3 10.1. The reason I didn't say the Note 10.1, by the way, 2014, which is the best Android tablet in my opinion still out, is because I have not found a good keyboard case for it. Zag, Belkin, all the big companies have not made one, and the third-party ones are just so lackluster. I just don't recommend them. So because of that, I don't recommend that, and I do believe if you're using something for school, you should have a keyboard or a keyboard case. So probably the Asus Transformer, the last one, which I forget which one it is, I would recommend. However, you should note that in the next probably 2 to 3 months, you're going to be having the Note 12.2, which will, in my mind, be the best one by far for school, not only because of its size and because it already has keyboard case support from all three companies. Logitech, Zag, and Belkin are making a keyboard case for it. But one of the best reasons why I would recommend it for school is because its new Handcom Office is amazing looking. I mean, when I saw that at CES, I was like, this is my next computer because I can do word processing, PowerPoint, and Excel, and I can send it to people. I can edit it right from there. And I have a 17-inch laptop, so I hate to take it around with me for work, and I would love to have this so much better. So that is the that one, or the Asus Transformer Duet, which will have Android and Windows on it, is another huge one that you should definitely consider for school. So if 2 to 3 months from now, I would say it's going to be one of those two. As of right now, I would say either the Tab 3 10-inch or the one I said earlier, the Transformer, would be the two best ones for school. Ethan Malago asks, I have an Alcatel One Touch firm Metro PCS. How do I speed up my internet? Unfortunately, you can't really speed up your internet. It's based on your area. The one thing that I do recommend is I do have a website. I do have a video on how to speed up your internet, 4G or 3G internet, and it's essentially getting an app that resets your internet and kind of shuts it down, basically kind of like putting it on airplane mode for the correct amount of time so that it resets to the current satellites where you're supposed to be. So for that reason, it does it, and then you get the best type of signal in your current area. So either get an app like that, like I think the current one is Fresh Network Booster. I believe that's the current name of it, and I really have to do some of those videos again. And so do that, and then it will give you the best internet signal in your area. Or the alternative, if you don't want to download an app, is just put on airplane mode, wait about 15, 30 seconds, and then take it off airplane mode, and it will reset your signal to the best signal in your area. So there you go. And Sharshi, I'm sorry, I can't attempt to say the name. How do I get PSP games, sir, on the device? I will be doing a video on that this week on PSP emulator and how do you get the games and all that kind of stuff. That will be coming this week, and hopefully you will like it. I had a trouble with my camcorder, and hopefully it's going to work this week. If not, I will have to buy a whole new camcorder for the channel because it was having issues with the mic. So I'm hoping this mic will fix the problems that I was having. If not, though, I will have to buy a new camcorder, which will delay another week. But yes, so this will be coming soon, that you will be having a video on how to not only get PSP games, but how to play them with the new gaming controller from Samsung, which I am still using like every day. I'm addicted to this. This is really bad for gamers. You should not get this. You should not get this. Thanks for all your helpful videos. Sorry, Brad Roseman. Thanks for all your helpful videos. You've helped a lot of my purchase decisions, including my major switch from iPhone to Android. I'm glad I could be of service. I'm really interested in the Tegra Note. Do you plan on getting your hands on one? I love the price, and I'm sure to. So, how does it hold up to the features? And is it better to upgrade, or if it's better to upgrade to the Note 8? So here's the thing with the Tegra Note. It's only sold online, basically. I haven't even seen it in stores, and I just don't know what kind of support Tegra is going to give it. However, upon reading this email, I will promise you I'm going to email the PR person for NVIDIA, and hopefully they'll be able to send me one of these, the Tegra Notes. The Tegra Shield is almost impossible to get, like a review unit, but I will ask them about the Tegra Note, because you are probably the fifth person or so that I've gotten to ask about this device. So we will see if we can get that for you. So we can review and we can compare it to the Note 8. It's a $200 device, so very good for the price point, of course. Although it does have the Tegra 4 instead of the new Tegra, which won't be coming out till the second half of the year, so I would say it's not irrelevant by any means. I'm really curious to see how it would act. As of right now, for that price point, I still my go-to one is the Nexus 7. Just for the price point, it's really good. But if you want the most accurate stylus, it's going to be the Note 8, which I'm guessing is the reason you wanted the Tegra Note, is the stylus. Their stylus is not the same though as the Note 8, so it is going to be more precise. However, the Note 8 I feel is outdated, and I feel at MWC we will get a new announcement for that one. I really feel at MWC we will get a Note 8 too. So I would wait. Personally, if this was me in this decision, I would wait to see the end of February, whenever MWC is, which should be, damn it, I don't see it. MWC, which should be at the end of the year. So for the 24th, that's when I recommend waiting till. All right, Jennifer Giddings asks, I have the Note 10.1 in 2014 edition. I need to connect it to a system at work so I can write notes on it from students and LCD projector. I need to get a VGA port. What do you suggest I do? I was trying to save money and from buying the All-Share Cast Hub wireless HDMI adapter. Okay, so yes, I hope it would help you definitely for that purpose. The only thing is that a VGA port is almost impossible to connect micro USB to VGA port. It just doesn't do well. There are ways of doing it. They make like VGA to HDMI adapters, and then you could get the MHL adapter and all this kind of stuff, but I just wouldn't recommend it. You want to go HDMI, really. So the All-Share Cast adapter is definitely one of those choices. The other choice, sorry, hold on one second, would be, I brought this out last week too, is this adapter, which Samsung sells on their website for about $40. It basically turns full HDMI and micro USB. It's an MHL adapter, so MHL. You get this adapter, and you can just directly connect it. So it's $40, and that's for the 2.0, which is just supposed to stream better and doesn't need power and all that fun stuff. That would be the best and least expensive way. Or you can save up for the All-Share adapter, which would make it wireless. But if you don't need to be wireless, which it does sound like you do because you just wanted a VGA port, I would recommend just getting that adapter. All right, Noelle Castle asks, new rookie, do I charge 5 hours before trying to set up my tablet? No, you don't need to. It generally only comes with a half charge when you take it out of the box, so it's gonna die sooner. But no, you don't need to kind of fully charge it. The first time you fully charge it will be fine for your battery. You don't need to fully charge it before using it like other devices in the past. So no, you don't need to. That was quick. And Adelina McKinsey, as seeing the video on redeeming your Google Play gift card. I purchased the Google Play gift card, but can't set it up. It says I need a Google Wallet account. Do I need to enter a credit card number before I can redeem my Google Play card? Well, a Google Wallet account, I don't believe requires a credit card. However, I've had one for so long that I am not sure anymore. Google could have definitely changed their policy requiring a credit card now, but as far as I know, no, you do not need to do that, at least by the standards when I signed up for mine. No, I did not need to in any way, shape, or form do that. Do they require it now? Not sure. At least not to my knowledge that they changed that policy. But if they did, if they're just as if when you sign up for a Google Wallet account, go Google Wallet, sign up for an account, and if you do need a credit card, then that's your answer. If it's telling you that you can't get around it, you need a credit card, then you do need a credit card now. However, even though it's on file, you'll never have to use it. And I actually had a friend ask me that she was very paranoid about having Google Wallet or ISIS or any of these mobile payments. It is no less secure than someone hacking into your bank account online. I mean, if someone wants to get to your information, they can get to your information. I mean, that's just it. But you still have a PIN. You can still disable it. The thing I love about Google Wallet is you can disable it from any computer on a certain phone. So if you want, if I wanted this phone not to be able to use my Google Wallet anymore, I can just disable it, and that's it, from any computer where I have access to my Gmail account. So that's really good about Google Wallet. So I wouldn't be too paranoid about it, more than like signing into a bank account online. All right, guys. I just got a question from Kevin. I can't read the last name properly, so I'm not going to try it. But it's called Battery Amount Decreasing. Hi, Ricky. I bought the Nexus 7 2013 edition, 32 gig in December. I would get about 8-9 hours on screen use. I use it. Now I'm getting about 6.5 hours. I added about 6 gigabytes of music filled up and 10 more megabytes of apps. I was wondering if I had anything to do with the battery life I am getting. Thanks. The comments are turned off. Wait, what? Comments are turned off? They should not be turned off. Thank you for letting me know the comments were turned off. I did not know that, and they shouldn't be. I don't know if I can enable them from here. Allow. On my side, it says the comments are allowed. I'm clicking it to see if that can redo it again. Thank you for letting me know that the comments were disabled. Hopefully they're on now. If you guys can leave a comment, and I can see them. So to answer your question, sorry about that. I was just trying to figure out why the comments were disabled. To answer your question, really, it really comes down to that. Yes, the more apps that are connected constantly, the quicker your battery life will drain. So when you're getting about 8 to 9 hours, and now you've put about 6 gigs of music, that shouldn't really do that much to it. But 10 more megabytes of apps, I'm more wondering what apps did you put on there. If you had apps like Facebook that constantly run, if you had apps like some games constantly run, and they don't stop running, and it's really annoying. But some games constantly run, so that can definitely drain your battery life. So I would look and see in your device, when you go under settings, and then you go to, there's actually a category called battery, and this is where you can see, what is draining your battery life. So on mine, it's mainly the Android and the screen. Other than that, like, nothing really drains it that much. Although this is just 1 second of battery on. But these are the two main things that drain my battery. I don't have a lot of things running a lot. But when I look at other people's devices, oh man, do I see some games and some things taking up a lot of energy. So that's really what it is. The more apps that are on and that are constantly running, the more apps that are going to drain it, Kevin. That's just at the end of the day, it's what drains it the most. So hopefully that helped out your questions. Not sure if haven't got any other emails. That was the first email I got. And if you want me to answer your question next week, just email me at asktheandroidguy@gmail.com, and I will answer your question next week. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and please give a like, thumbs up if you found any of this helpful. This has been RCKY, the Android Guy.